Welcome back. We've examined three of the four pieces that make up the big picture of getting what you want out of life. We've looked at healthy self-esteem, familiarity, and trust in your own ESP, and peace of mind. In this video, I'll be turning our attention to that last piece of the puzzle, spiritual curiosity. If the word spiritual turns you off, understood. Let me describe what I'm not talking about here. I'm not talking about religion, going to church services, the traditional figure of God as an old judgmental man with a long white beard. I'm talking about the inner mind, yourself. I'm not talking about prayer or obedience or surrender to some force outside of yourself. By spirit, I mean yourself, the energy of you, the person who is in your head when you fall asleep at night, the part of you that you can't hide things from, even if you wanted to. Your conscious awareness of yourself that is eternally the same, even though your face changes and your body ages. Did you ever notice that when you consider your deepest self, you operate from the same inner familiarity, inner source now as you did when you were a teenager? I'm not talking about your life experiences, your traumas, your successes. I'm talking about who you are when you say I or I am. Certainly you are things. You are a woman, you are an adult, a Sagittarius, let's say, an artist, a soldier. But before you are those things, you are. I'm talking about your being, the part which, when you think about it, has no real beginning. When did you start to be you? I'll give you a hint. There is no beginning and no end of your consciousness. You might have a first memory as a child, but that's only a part of your mind witnessing something, some event, some emotion. I like to think of that part of being as our spirit. You can use the word soul or beingness or consciousness. It is in you, not outside of you, not God on a throne or scriptural rules set down on tablets thousands of years ago. Spirit is you. Life is you. Beingness is you. So why is curiosity about this aspect of yourself necessary for the complete foundation and exercise of getting what you want out of life? Because when you dig into what your consciousness means, you discover that you're a creator. You develop a relationship with a part of you that is simply life, alive. Think about it like there are two selves, a capital S self. That's the unchanging beingness, and a small s self, which is what you have created out of that beingness, that gender, that family, that career, that talent, that belief system, and that bank account. My capital S self is the life force within me, just like yours is. We all have that. This is where I say simply, I am. I am alive. I exist. My small s self, lowercase s self, is what I've shaped or created with that life force and that beingness. I am Priscilla. I am a medium. I am an author. I am a friend, a homeowner, and a dog lover. The creator in me, my capital S self, not God outside of me, but the creative force within me is already everything and anything that the small s self in me wants to be, do, or have. I determined, using my imagination and intuition, backed by healthy self-esteem, that I wanted to be an author of this course. I know that I have the source of all things within me, and I got all those other voices out of the way, turned down the volume, and let my spirit and intuition guide me on this subject matter and on the words to write down. And with the very idea that I'm presenting of four puzzle pieces. You have the source of all life within you, and it wants to express itself uniquely through you, who is that woman, that parent, that soldier, that artist, that writer, that dreamer. Believe in yourself and those dreams. You are worthy simply because you're here and you're alive. Think about, I don't know, fish that live in a lake. Are they doing anything to earn their keep? No, they're simply themselves in the fullness of their perfect being. As humans, we are blessed or cursed, depending on how you look at it, with consciousness that I don't know if a fish has. It's that fish's subjective experience. That only means, what I'm talking about is that we are self-aware. We can't know if fish or birds or beetles are self-aware, but we humans know that we are. We humans are life, and we are also life aware of itself. You have to know, accept, and be convinced that life is always creating. It is always recreating and perpetuating itself. It is the nature of life to evolve. And to evolve, it must create itself every day. So do we. We don't have to repeat patterns of toxic relationships or bad habits or scarcity complexes. If you allow yourself to be curious about this part of you, this part of your being, well, wow. I mean, life unfolds in miraculous ways. You feel empowerment that you can't imagine. And I don't say spiritual knowledge, you'll notice, or spiritual accomplishment because we're never finished. Just like life force never runs out, the energy of it might be transformed, but we know it is never destroyed. I say spiritual curiosity on purpose because learning about yourself leads to more questions to explore and realities to create in the ever evolving fractal patterns of just being alive. Question everything, not in a suspicious, interrogative way, but in a curious, open minded way. For example, ask yourself what you want to get out of life. For now, just pick one. For example, let's say, I'll give you an example, but let's say your answer is more money. What I would like to get out of life is more money. It's a pretty common one. Now ask yourself, okay, well, why do I want more money? This is a legitimate question. It's not a trap. Because let's face it, everybody wants more money. Nobody wants less. Why do I want more money? Well, let's say the first thing that comes to mind is I want to be able to join the gym. Now I ask again, why? Why do I want to join the gym? And let me state again, this is not, you're not playing devil's advocate with yourself. If you had a person who required that you explain yourself over and over again for anything that you wanted, have an excuse and a defense for anything that you stated or wanted, this is not the way we're talking to ourselves. We're talking to ourselves in an open, curious way. So ask again, why do I want to join the gym? What first comes to mind? Well, let's say I want to get back in shape and have more energy. Ask myself again, why do I want more energy? Well, okay, I want to get back in shape and have more energy because I feel good about myself when I can wear nice fitted clothes. I feel more attractive. Again, I'll ask, why do I want to feel more attractive? And my answer is I'm doing this with myself live with you right here, because when I was in shape and I felt attractive, I loved myself and I had more confidence to try new things. I felt free, like anything was possible. And now we've boiled it down. What I desire in this example is to reconnect with my most vital self and know again that I can be, do, and have anything, that the world is mine to create, that anything is possible. When you consider what you want out of life, be curious about your spirit and what it wants out of that desire. Keep asking why. Why do I want that? Gently, curiously. And I bet most answers will boil down to just a few. What our souls long for, really, our spirits long for, underneath just about everything. Freedom, creation, feeling safe and secure, and love. There might be a couple more, but I bet when you find out, as you keep asking and you keep diving deeper and you keep inviting yourself, your spirit, your intuition to respond, it's probably going to come down to one of those very natural things. And that's where the spirit comes in. That curiosity guides you to the fundamental roots of getting what you want out of life. If it's freedom to create your life, your healthy self-esteem will say, yeah, go for it. Your intuition will guide and inspire you to take specific actions that old beliefs won't inhibit anymore because you have peace of mind, because your peace of mind will help you tune out all the doubters in your life and the ones that reside in your head. So be curious about your spirit. Trust in your worthiness, in your intuition, in your quiet, peaceful mind, and the life force behind it. You have every right to be here on this planet, taking up space, creating things, being weird and unique and thoroughly, unapologetically you. And you have all the tools you need to start expressing yourself and creating your abundant and prosperous reality. So enjoy.